Tonight, from Lumen Field in Seattle, it's Week 10 of the NFL on EA Sports. Drew Lock and the Seattle Seahawks taking on Zach Wilson and the New York Jets.
With the beautiful Puget Sound just to our west, you get a look inside Lumen Field here in Seattle, Washington. This crowd, as we've come to expect in recent years, as loud as any in the NFL, and they get even louder when their Seahawks are introduced. We're ready for football as the Seahawks get set to do battle with the New York Jets. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. They will be led out by a second-round pick in 2019. Out of Missouri, it's Drew Lock.
And if you go by the numbers, he's had a Pro Bowl-type season. And maybe that's even selling him a little bit short. He's the NFL leader in touchdown passes to this point in the year. And with the end of the season not too far away, he's got his guys playing at a very high level.
And an early how do you do right there as they're going to bury him in the backfield. It'll go as a loss of 3 right away, and it's second down. They fake the handoff, now Lock. He finds his man, complete. It's Hodges. And he's brought down after a very nice gain.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe needs some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
And they'll run on the inside handoff. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, where that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense, because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
Catch is made by Metcalf. Touchdown, Seahawks. DK Metcalf with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Seahawks have taken a first quarter lead. With these Thursday night games, sometimes you get those quick turnarounds. You wonder how a team's going to start. They started really well.
Everyone's always wondering, going into a Thursday night game, who has their legs, who has the overall health of a team. But mentally, if you get that early edge, the other team might think to itself, it's been a short week, we're not really ready to go. You might run them into the ground that way. That's why getting that early score means a lot.
Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 7-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. So now here comes the Jet offense as they get ready to take over. They're led out by a former #2 overall pick in the draft from BYU. It's Zach Wilson.
And it felt like in watching the game tape, he got everyone involved last week.
He was a manager.
He really was. That's a great way to put it because they ran the ball some. They threw it accurately. 1 touchdown pass, so he didn't, break the bank doing that, but he didn't throw any interceptions. That's the bottom line. That's why a defense loves a quarterback like that.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 29. And this one will be brought back to the 22. So a first interception thrown for him there, and that really not the best decision either.
Not at all, and that's something he did not do in their victory last week. No interceptions in that game, but this defense, they're able to take advantage.
End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. A great effort there with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Seahawks are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
If you didn't know it, it won't surprise you to find out that this team leads the league in scoring. They've been a quick strike team all season long. There's another example. They did it again.
And we remember, of course, all scoring plays need to be verified upstairs. And I think they're going to at least take a look at this. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How's the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. Extra point right down the middle, and it's now 14-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Zach Wilson and the Jet offense set to take over here. And he'll need to find a way to shrug off the opening drive, if you can even call it a drive. 1 play and an interception, so he's got to forget that.
I know that in today's football, we have a good number of coaches who don't look at time of possession the way that the old school guys did. But there's still a place for it. And I think that on this drive, after having thrown that interception, they're going to want to eat up a little bit more clock and run some offense and give their defense a little bit of a break.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. From the shotgun, Wilson. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. It's a loss of 10 on the sack, and it leads to 4th. When you're down a couple of scores like this, CD, you can't afford too many plays that go in the wrong direction like that one.
Yeah, when you take a good look at it broadly, sacks are better than giving up an interception. But where they are on the scoreboard, they've got to get rid of all of that and just create positive plays for themselves in order to have a chance.
The punt team on now as this one's sent away. Fighting his way through contact. A tremendous return there, 39 yards. And this offense set up with a very short field. 1st and 10 inside the 20. We see Drew Lock in the offense coming back on. He's showing off that arm, showing it off very well. They've got the lead. Don't forget, though, about the protection he's had. The protection's been good.
And I'll guarantee you he hasn't forgotten about it at all because that's keeping him clean in the pocket, allowing him to step into throws and make those deep passes come true. I mean, it's just been beautiful for him to do. But guess what? In the huddle, on the sidelines, guaranteed he's thanking those big guys up front for keeping him safe. I have a feeling he made him by dinner.
Indeed, entertaining to relive some of those deep balls. Just what you want on a 1st down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. His second rushing touchdown of the year and third overall. And the Seahawks add on to their lead. Boy, these guys are off to the races, Charles. 20-0 already, extra point pending.
Yeah, you always hear that term. They just boat race someone. Heck, it's car race, motorcycle race, plane race, whatever you want. Right now, they are sprinting past them.
Extra point attempt to come here. And it is now 21-0. Well, that drive started with not a whole lot of real estate in front of them. In clutch territory, excellent field position. 2 plays later, pay dirt. So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. Another drive coming up for New York's offense. 4-4 their record through 8 games on the season. Would you say that this team has overperformed, underperformed, or are they kind of right where you thought that they would be?
Do you mind if I say yes, yes, and yes? Because ultimately to me, 4-4 is about where they should be, because we've seen weeks where they've been really, really good. They've looked terrific. Other weeks where we wondered just how good is this team. They want to be consistent in their play, not consistently inconsistent, which is what they've been thus far.
From the 31, Wilson. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 36. Now it's Wilson. And his throw here is incomplete.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
Wilson will throw again. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. It's a big play that time by the Jets. 21-0 our score after 1. They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. They'll run for it here with McAllister. And he pushes forward but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1. 2nd and goal from the 1. They'll try again. And he's in. Touchdown, Jets. His 6th touchdown on the ground, number 7 overall. And the Jets are able to cut into this deficit. Extra point attempt to follow here. It's up, it's good, and that'll cut the lead to 21-7. So this drive spans 7 plays. And it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Taking it about the 1. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. We see Drew Lock in the offense coming back on. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence. Does a great deal for your team. Gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And this one will go to the 28-yard line.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
Hands it off out of the gun. And room to run as he's up past the 35-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. They look to throw. It's Locke rolling to his left. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there.
We talk about mobility on quarterbacks all the time. Here's where it really pays off. Able to move, evade, and is accurate throwing on the run and picking up a first down.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 54 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
And to give this time to the tailback. And he's going to be met at about the 43. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. Now to the air, Locke. He'll find Metcalf. And that's going to be another first down as the tackle made at the Jets' 22-yard line. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. Lots of praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done. Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. 2nd and goal from inside the 5. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he was able to shed 1 tackle but could not get away from there. Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal. To throw it is Locke. Feeling the pressure here and taken down. A sack back at the 7. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. And his kick is indeed good, and they will open things up a bit more. It's 24-7. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx it.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. The Jets going to take over now late in this first half. And with a 3-score deficit staring him in the face, they might have to press the issue here and try to get points out of this drive. Just over 30 seconds to go in the half. They've got it 1st and 10. Wilson. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Robbins. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and CD in a minute. First, it's time to take a look at what we've got coming your way this weekend in the NFL. Plenty of good matchups in that 1 o'clock Eastern window. It'll be noon at Soldier Field in Chicago, and a big test for the Bears, as they'll square off with the visiting Arizona Cardinals. Plenty to like about the late afternoon games as well. As you see by the highlight, these guys are in for a battle, taking on the LA Rams. And lastly, we'll all be tuned in on Monday night for what should be a great one between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Atlanta Falcons. In the game you're watching, it's been Drew Lock with a strong first half. His guys have the lead, as we'll hand it back over to our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Jets going to get the football first, and they trail as well as we get back underway in this second half. And the half will begin with a touchback. And the Jets head out on offense here to start this third quarter. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball into the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. They'll keep it on the ground. McAllister, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play backwards a yard. Wilson. And he will have the first down, but he winds up taking a pretty good shot that time.
I know I spent a lot of time talking about how tight ends in a lot of cases now are pumped up wide receivers, but they're still big people. He used that frame right there to absorb a really big hit on him and held on to the ball.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. On the give, McAllister with it. And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Three yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting 3rd and about 4 to go. Now Wilson. He's got a man. It's his tight end. That's complete. Well, he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. A great play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Jets are able to close the gap just a bit. Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead is trimmed down to 10. So that drive 6 plays, 75 yards. And it ends with a Jet touchdown. Taking it about the 1. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. Now whistles, and we've got a man down. A man down here following the kickoff. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And they were terrific in the first half, built up a sizable lead, and it's just been cut into a bit following the opening drive score on the other side. But this is a unit that has to be itching to get the football again.
You could say that again. They've got to be pretty eager because, let's face it, they've had to sit through halftime, then sit on the sidelines and watch that drive. So you can bet that they're saying, let's get on with this. We got to go out there and get some more points.
And this will be a Seahawks first down as he'll take this up to about the 33-yard line.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they are playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down. So, CD, you look at this offense and what they've been able to do. 8-0, perfect through the first 2 months of the year. Second half of the season still to come. We get that. But what kind of a percentage chance do you think that they have of running the table?
Partner, I think it's hard to say because history would tell us that the chances aren't good at all. We've seen a lot of good teams get to this point, and then they have that one bad week and takes them out of the running. I'm going to say 25%, and I feel like I'm being generous with that number.
They'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack. It'll be a loss of 8 on the sack, and it's going to lead them to 4th down. Now here's Michael Dixon. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. 42 yards on the punt, just 2 on the return. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. Here's Wilson. Screen play to McAllister. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the... Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. Picked off by Byron Murphy. And he's going to take this one back to the 37-yard line.
Brandon, I'm not going to tell him that you called him old in our pregame meeting, but this guy has been around a long time. If there's a trick in the book, he knows it. He probably even wrote a few chapters, and this is what he's always had, and that's a nose for the football. He's able to come away here with the interception.
1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. From the gun, he'll hand this off. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 102 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on. And carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. From the gun, they'll try to run it. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there. This defense against the run, by the way, they're not top 5, but they are top 10.
So what's your philosophy here? Do you try and run the ball against a team that's pretty good against the run? What if you're a pretty good running team? If so, you might want to go ahead and run it anyway because that's your strength.
Give him 8 yards that time on the scramble, and now 4th down. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. And his kick is good. And that will stretch the lead up to 13. So that, maybe not a knockout blow, but I suppose certainly every little bit helps when you're trying to salt one away in the 4th.
Well, the possibility of being beaten by 2 late touchdowns or at least sent to overtime does exist. But time, definitely a big factor at this stage of the game, is in their favor.
Now the Jets offense gets ready to head back on the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. Throwing is Wilson. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. Used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. And just a yard to go here on 2nd down. To throw is Wilson. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call.
Can't do that.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Wilson's throw complete there to McLeod. So the completion good for 6 yards. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Jets football as we get you reset here. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score. Throwing again here, Wilson. And this pass broken up. And the contact well timed there. And now 4th down. Here we go. It's Wilson on 4th down. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. One crisis averted, but they still need to move hastily. Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Ooh, that's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle, so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
The 2nd down attempt there knocked down as it leaves the quarterback's hand, and it's incomplete.
Back-to-back incompletions, but we know this is definitely 4-down territory. Time not on their side. I don't think they want to try and get the first down in 2 installments. I think they got to go and get it right here, right now.
And this a leaping effort, but it's knocked away and incomplete. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. They'll try and throw for it with Wilson. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off near the 32. And he'll return this one just shy of midfield to the 49. Well, I guess an interception at this point on 4th down is just as bad as an incomplete pass. Either way, the ball goes over to the other side.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in this late in the game, and there's not a whole lot he could do there. And he winds up giving the ball away.
Now after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. Coming up on a 2nd and 6. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. The Jets going to go ahead and use their final timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Now a handoff here to his running back. Busting through contact. Just wasn't a huge hole there for him to operate. Stopped just inside the 35-yard line. So now we have Jackson slow to get back on his feet. Appears to be shaken up. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. Doesn't matter whether you've watched high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
And he is going to have a Seahawks first down by about a yard as they find a way to convert there on 3rd down and 5. And they give this time to the tailback. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at second down. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe they get a little greedy. I don't know if they're doing it for stats or for what reason. We've seen it happen in college. And how about in the NFL? The miracle of the Meadowlands. All they had to do was take a knee and the game was over. The Giants ran it one more time. Ball popped free. Philadelphia picks it up and wins the game.
What year was that?
1978. I think it was in November.
So the victory here for Seattle. And it was a game where they were off and running in the first quarter, Charles, and never looked back.
You know, partner, after a while, we always say the same thing, don't we? They set the tone early, right? They started fast. So I asked a few of my horse racing friends, do you have a term for me that we can use to cover that? And they said, yeah. When a horse breaks out like that, you say he caught a flyer out of the gate. And that's exactly what this team did today. I mean, they jumped out there, jumped on them, and were never headed.
So for the Seahawks, the train just keeps rolling 9-0 now to start this campaign. And now they'll have a few extra days here before they face Miami next week. Meanwhile, for the Jets, they are barely afloat as they fall to 4-5. And they'll try to make amends next week as they host the Cleveland Browns. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.